Hello guys. I just want to make a video real quick saying Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Uh, I hope everything's going well for you. Uh, you know me, I do. If you've been watching me long enough, you know I don't like at on the holiday itself. I don't like making a bad video on a holiday, and it's just because that's not. It's always been my opinion personally, anyway, that when we make bad videos on holidays, it's just not something appropriate. You know, I'd rather make people laugh. I'd rather have a good time, cut up, talk junk, everything else compared to making a bad video that day. Well, I can make plenty of doom and gloom videos. I can sit over here and talk all kinds of junk. I can tell you what I think's going to happen, what this and that. I can tell you about Israel. I can tell you anything you want to know, Palestine, anything else. But on that day of the holiday, I generally don't like to get into all this and that and everything else because it's time for fun. It's time for celebration. It's time to have a good time. Let's not get into a bunch of junk and let's have a good time. So, what I like to talk about is going forward for the next 4 years. What do I think, and what do I think that we could do as preppers during that period of 4 years? And what do I think that you should do, and what do I think that could work great for you in a period of 4 years? Well, to be honest with you, in my opinion, what you should do is you should actually uh, get any kind of bills, debt, anything you got paid off, probably within the next about 2 to 3 years. Get that out of here. Just get out of debt. Don't sit here and just ride around in debt no more. Get it out of here. Get out of debt because bottom line is things are going to be kind of getting better for the next foreseeable future for the next 4 years, hopefully anyway, and it should be doing pretty good. Now, what unexpected things going to happen in that 4 years? I don't know. What kind of other stunts are they going to pull? I don't know. Uh, we know that there's been there's been a few assassination attempts on Trump. We know there's been other issues going on around here. We know that the world is not doing so well around here. Um, so we'll see what happens. But the truth of the matter is, let's focus on the good stuff. And right now, I think that we can seriously, as preppers, as somebody's prepping, can seriously maximize on this next time because we right now we're at a point to where the country's about to break, and we're about to break out into a full blown World War III, all hell break loose war, and we're at a pivoting point to where that's like it can go one way or the other. But when Trump gets back in office, all the other leaders in the world are just waiting till January. They just got to wait one more month, and the United States is pushing Russia for everything they can to try to get a war started. They're trying to get some kind of all hell break loose and a war started in the Middle East and Israel. They're trying to get a war started in every kind of part of the world that they can. It's just like a pivoting point of which way this is going to turn. Is it going to go this way or this way? But when Trump gets up back in office, all the world leaders have already agreed to work with the guy and try to be good. And even China said they're going to start playing ball with the guy. So we're seeing that pivoting point go from to the bad side back over to the good side, and we're starting to they're starting to denuclearize things down, kind of winding things down a little bit. Um, right now, you've got Iran, who's actually got uranium. They got weapons. They got uranium that can be converted into weapons grade uranium. They know they can, but Iran's not trying to start doing something like that. They're not trying to start doing something like that. They could do that, but just because they have it doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to use it for any kind of reason. Excuse me. Gotta. I guess my sinus has been bothering me. I do that when my sinus start bothering me. Yeah. So we're at a pivoting point right now. We've got the 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 world about ready to break out to a total mess. Right now, the economy is shot. It is. I mean, you got people right now that their credit is completely gone. It is going to take years to ever get their credit back after this one. Um, they don't have the credit cards they used to have. They don't have the credit worthiness they used to have. You don't have. Uh, People don't have a lot of things right now. They don't have a lot of things they used to have. They used to have a lot more going on in their life uh, before now, but now they're starting to finally get to the point where they're doing okay. Let me see if I get a little Phil up here. He won't say hey. He just gonna say hey. He's right here with me. A little male. We still got him. Just want to bring him in the picture. Say hey. Say hey, buddy. Say hey, buddy. He wants to be a little stubborn boy. Yeah, he's that dad. I always say he's sort of that daddy that went down to the gas station to get some water tickets and a pack of smokes and didn't come back. He can be that way sometimes, but him doing good. Him my boy, and yeah, I just thought I'd bring him up in the picture. He likes to occasionally say hey. He's got some kind of knot on the back of his neck. I don't know what it is. Anyway, uh. It's not nothing. I've seen it before, but yeah, he's got a little knot right on the back of his neck. Next time he goes to the vet for his checkup, I ask him what that little knot is. It's not like a cancer or nothing, but anyway, uh, uh, what was I gonna say? Well, the economy and the way the credit cards have been and everything else, they're not really giving out car loans, and they're not going to give out car loans. So the economy right now is at a pivoting point of it can go to the good, it can go to the bad, it can go anywhere. So, we can prepare ourselves as people and what we can do as people to prepare for the next election after Trump gets out of office. And one thing I don't want to be I don't want to be kind of like pessimistic, but if we look at Trump's previous record and things went great well, it went much better than it is now, the whole 4 years, except for the COVID time. But if you look at it, the first 2 years was the best years. Then you had that last 2 years. So about halfway in the middle right there, it turns to a different direction. And then it just went downhill bad, right? So, and then it faded on into to somebody just trying to completely destroy the United States. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about his best time for as far as him. It never really went bad, but it went not as in a good road as it did the first two. You know what I'm saying? So what we need to look at is, let's say, in his next election term, what will happen? Will it happen? Will this turning point happen again in 2 years? I don't know. But I can tell you this, we might have that happen again. So if we have that happen again, we can be prepared next time. You can get yourself out of debt. If you're in any debt, if you got your credit down low, you can get stuff like secured credit cards. You can get like an Open Sky Visa, Open Sky, that's the name of Visa, and get your prepaid card and build up your credit some. You can work on paying off old bad credit debt that you had and stuff like that. If you have them, you just call them up and say, I want to pay this off, and you literally just buy your credit back because you paid off your bad debt, bad loans. You can do that, and if you do that, it will rebuild your credit up because you're getting these bad negatives off of you. Even if it's a bad mark, it will show a bad mark, but it will show a bad mark that's paid, and that's a whole lot different than a bad mark that's unpaid. Okay, so you're like, why should I pay? Why should I get rid of this? Just because your credit will really help you a lot through other things. Let's say you move into a new place and you need to get power started at a new place. Well, you might come up with a $250. They might ask you to come up with a $250 deposit, which is non-refundable until you move out, and you pay that last bill. And if you move out and don't pay that last bill, then they get to keep the $250 or deduct whatever it is from that $250. Okay, so what you need to look at is it's good for you to have good credit, and there's many different options too, but it's good for you to have good credit because it will help you save money in the long run. It will just help you altogether to either have no credit or good credit. Because the bottom line is, if you got bad credit, it can hit you a little bit harder and stuff like trying to start up a cell phone service, extra points on interest rates on cars. If you want to buy a car for any reason, if you want to buy a house, you need a credit score of 620 or better with at least 5 to 10% down. So you need to think about that. So credit's a good thing, and if you can possibly rebuild your credit in any kind of way, then go for it. If there's anything you can do in this period of time, and also I always say, buy guns, buy food, buy bullets. Buy guns, food, bullets. And also, I've had a lot of people contact me lately. And a lot of people has contacted me lately, asking me what I think about cryptocurrency. A lot of people have asked me what can I do to save my money? What can I do to have my money if the dollar collapses? And it's a real possibility. The dollar could collapse, and it could collapse under Trump signed in. He might think that he can run it up to $40 trillion and it not collapse. And that arrogance might get him and all of us screwed, blue, and tattooed out in trouble. Because if you run that debt up that high, we're in trouble. And and the bottom line is, it's going to be bad. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really worried about the national debt. That's a big one I'm really, really worried about is national debt. I'm also looking at the banks too, and I'm wondering which banks are going to collapse too. I'm really seriously keeping a close eye, monitoring this very closely, all this stuff. But the biggest thing I think I'm worried about is really that national debt too, because I'm worried about what's going to happen with the dollar. Plus, with the BRICS dollar being out there at any given time, they can just decide we're not dealing in the U.S. dollar. We're going with BRICS and going with BRICS only. And if they do that, we're in trouble. So we got to look at it from that standpoint. And another standpoint we got to look at it from is I think is where are we headed as a country? The United States has got this kind of woke agenda. Now it's like, okay, I'm waking up. I'm getting out of this woke dream these people have put forth. Bernie Sanders really messed this freaking country up when he come out with this old socialism crap and everything else. They really messed this country up with this woke socialism crap that they come out with about 8 years ago, something like that. About 8 years ago, they come out with this crap, and they really messed this country up bad since then, because people have got this whole idea that we can live on the government. All this is going to happen. Then they get mad and they get upset because the price of eggs is $5 for 18 of them, and so in the direction the country's going, I think that you'll start seeing prices come down. You'll start seeing your gas prices come down. You'll start seeing things get better. And during that period of time, it's going to be the best time of any time that you can to to buy stuff, to get stuff, and everything else. And like I was saying before, the people's been contacting me on what I think they should do with their money. Okay, so I think what people should do with their money, in my opinion, is if you can do one or three things with your money. All right, this is my opinion, but you need to make sure where you do it at. You need to make sure that you've got your money in a good bank, a good place to put your money. Okay, that means I use Woodforest National Bank. I like Woodforest National Bank. They don't take risk. They don't put themselves out there like that. They're very strict about any kind of loan guidelines or anything else. Then they don't take losses like other banks. They're very stable, and I like my Woodforest National Bank. Now, that's not an option for everybody. Like my mama in her town, she lives in Morgan. They don't have one up there, and she was telling me, she said, I don't know why they didn't put a Woodforest in my town. She loves Woodforest, loves them to death. She would love to have Woodforest, and I love Woodforest. She would love to have them. At one point they were a scumbag bank, and what happened was they got in big trouble with the government years ago. The government come in and they put the hammer down on them, man. And ever since then, they cleaned up their act, and they've been one of the cleanest banks there is. Because government, I mean, they come in and they put the hammer, but they took a freaking spike with a 10-pound hammer. They put it to them, man. And after that, that bank just said, "That's it, we're clean," and cleaned up. Plus, they fired a bunch of people up in the upper levels and stuff like that. So they cleaned up. They cleaned up big, and it fixed that bank. Um, Another bank that got clean, another bank that you might want to think about is one that's called First Citizens. First Citizens is a good bank. They're real clean. They don't bother you. They will. Your money will be there. You'll always have it where it should be, and everything else. My mama is using Wells Fargo, and she's had a lot of good luck with them. But me in the past, from my past experience, you want to get me to touch Wells Fargo with a 10-foot pole. But her, she's had good luck with Wells Fargo. But me, I'd rather stay completely away. I would rather drive on the other road, just not to have to pass in front of that bank, personally. But that's me. Uh, so, like I said, get with a good bank, credit union, state employee credit union. If that's what you got access to state employee credit union, go to them. Um, if you got access to whatever you got access to, go to those people. Those are going to be some of your best ones. Um, uh, let's see. There's many different places you can go. There's many different people you can talk to. There's many different people you can talk to. Um, I think one of them that I would uh, recommend is probably a credit union too. If your company has a credit unions usually do pretty good. Now, what was I going to say? Now, one of the ones I'd say to kind of avoid is a lot of the bigger banks, like what they call the Big Four. The bigger banks, yeah, they're not good. Um, okay, let's see. On to the next subject. Gasoline should come way down. Here, they're going to open the pipelines back up. They're going to get everything back rolling again. That should come down. So you're going to have a lot of good stuff there. And like I said, in this period of time, in this time frame, get stuff, get guns, get bullets. Don't get complacent and think that it's not okay. I mean, when this Hurricane Helene hit, it woke me up. I thought people would be way more prepared. I thought people would be way more ready for all that stuff to happen. I thought people would be way more. Uh, I thought people were starting to be preppers. I thought things were coming around in this country. But I gotta tell you, it was not coming around in this country. It's not coming around, and people are not becoming preppers and everything else. That's where it leads up to us. We need to prep for ourselves and quit worrying about these people. Like when this happened, right now, when this happened, you couldn't find a generator. You couldn't find a generator. People were buying gas so they could try to run what generators they had. They didn't have no gas stored up. People were buying up water. I mean, and I seen something that was ridiculous in a gas station one day. There was a guy in a gas station. Then now when that happened, he was charging for two bottles of cold water. You paid $4.50 for two bottles of cold water, right? So he did the power was out and but the water was still cold because the power just sort of went out. So all the refrigerators stayed closed. So this guy comes in there. He gets about 30 bottles of water at $4 for two, and he paid. And the guy figured out $4.50 for two. All right, and $10 a gallon. Okay, so $4.50 for two. Okay, so let's see, what would he have paid? Probably close to $30 for a 30 pack of water and a gallon, thing. He probably paid close to $30 for 1 gallon and 30 bottles of water. That's because people were not prepared. There wasn't a chainsaw even on the shelves. I ended up finding some chainsaws for people. I ended up getting some water to people. I ended up getting 5-gallon buckets of just tap water to people, and I got people water. I got them there. I got it there. I got them there. And that was tough driving in that mess. Believe me, it was trying to go under the power lines, get around the trees, and get up in there. It was tough, believe me. And there were sometimes I had to go stop, go back the other way, stuff like that. And believe me, when it comes time to come home, I was not driving out there like that at nighttime. Believe me, because I'd seen too much stuff. I mean, I needed a spotlight to be able to see what's in front of me. Uh, so I tried not to drive at nighttime during that time too. Not around the trees and everything because it was bad. There was a lot of stuff happened. So what you need to do, guys, is you need to think about what do you need now. Like, do you need a chainsaw? You know, there was one I'd seen on Amazon that it wouldn't have had to be an expensive chainsaw, but there's one I seen on Amazon, and we think we don't need a chainsaw until something like that happens. Then you realize you need a chainsaw. So I seen a chainsaw on Amazon that was $150. One was like $150. It's called Built Hard. Built Hard, BILT hard. $150, 20-inch chain. All right, and that might not seem like a good investment. You might think that's ridiculous. Why am I buying this? But then, when something like that happens, a tree falls in your house. You got to cut that tree off your house. Okay, it's going to keep pushing your house down. All right, so you have to get the tree off your house. You know, there's times when you're going to end up finding yourself in needing a house, needing something like that, and you're going to think, well, I don't need nothing like that. Yes, you are. You're going to eventually need that. So the bottom line is, get it now. Goodness. Yeah, get it now. If there's anything you need to get it now. And this is going to be the time to do it. Right now, you'll be able to find guns cheap because we know that whenever Trump's in office, people get relaxed. All right, when Democrats are in office, well, like Obama was one of the best thing that ever happened to gun companies. There was. Everybody was too scared that Democrats are going to take their guns. Oh my God, them Democrats are going to get our guns. They're going to get our bullets. They're going to get our guns. They're going to get away. You know, they're coming after my AR-15. They're coming after my AK. They're coming after my AR-10. They're coming after this. They're coming after that. Oh yeah, we got to get our guns. So they're going to get them guns, right? And then some morons go out and bought these guns, and then they turn around. The government might illegalize my gun, and then they might try to come get it. My bottom line is, when I'm dead, you can pry it out of my cold dead hand. Because the bottom line is, I'm not going to give up my gun to nobody. I don't care who walks in this yard. I'm not giving up my gun. I mean, that's the bottom line. You can pry it from my cold dead hand. And that's just the way I feel about it. If they don't like it, they kiss my ass. Pardon the French, but hey, I mean, you will pry my gun out of my cold dead hand, because the bottom line is I will go to my death defending my rights and the rights of the United States Constitution. I will, and that's the rights of the people to keep and bear arms. But whenever Trump's in office, what happens is he gets relaxed. It's not no tension there, not real tension there to go get that gun. Got to get that gun, yeah, man. And plus, on top of that, we've had the biggest gun buy that's ever been seen. So guns are cheap right now. You know, I've been looking at this caliber. It's called 22 TCM. And I would like to own the gun and that bullet, and the bullets to that gun. But there's only one problem I got with the gun, the bullets to that particular gun, and even the bullets, is those bullets are about $45 a box. I don't know if you can even try to reload that. I mean, it's essentially, I guess you could. It might be a pain in the butt, but it's a 9mm. What it is it's a 9mm centerfire. It's got a 9mm centerfire primer. So I guess you could buy a 9mm centerfire primer and put it in the bottom. And then at the top, it's got a standard 40 grain 22 LR bullet. So it goes up from in a 9mm case. So it's got the powder charge of a 9mm, and it necks down into a 22 LR. So basically, it's a 22 Magnum on steroids. A 22 Magnum on jet fuel. Yeah, pretty much, because it's ridiculous how powerful this little thing is. I like the own one. The gun's a bit ridiculous. It's a big old 1911. It's a bit ridiculous. The gun costs $350, and bullets should cost about $45 a box. And to me, I just say, hey, why not just get a 9mm? Why not just get a 10mm? Why not just get a 45 ACP compared to something that's overpriced for that, But stuff like that is my point. It will be coming down, and you'll start finding stuff like 44 Magnums and stuff like that. Bullets for 44 Magnums. You better buy 44 Magnums a lot cheaper. I remember before the whole pandemic thing, before everything happened, you could buy a Ruger GP100 for about $600 if you went to the right place and you got it at the right time. You can get a GP100 $600. That gun's over $900 now, and that gun was $600 before it ever happened. That was a very good gun. That GP100. That GP100 is a very good gun. It's a 357 Magnum and it's a revolver. But my point is that $900 some gun is going to go down. I was up on a car lot today, and I'm actually seeing a turn for the better. I went to the car lot. It's cold out there too. Trust me, that wind is really kicking hard, and it's been cold. Well, it wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for the wind. The wind's what's getting you, because that wind's just, oh God. I mean, it's not like it's cold like you had to put on, like you had to really bundle up. But it was cold enough. It was cold enough to make my fingers get a little frozen out there, because it's not the warmest out there right now. It's because of the wind. It got that little gust to it. But I went to a car lot today. I was very surprised that Toyota has come down so well, and people are underestimating what they should get at these car lots, because the reality is the price that you pay for. The price that you pay for your Chevrolets, and the price you pay for your Ford, and the price you pay for all these other cars and everything else. If you watch this video I'm going to put up at the end of this, I don't know how long that video is, but if you watch that video, you'll see that it's actually not that bad now as far in the Toyota market. It's coming down, but I can't say it's not bad. It's still pretty bad. It is still pretty bad, but it's slowly but surely creeping its way down. So you might want to take a look at some of the Toyotas. You might actually like some of them. They're not as badly overpriced as they were. But I'd say that if you can get by with not needing a new car at all, don't do it. And if there's by chance in some way that you can go to get a decent used car at any used car lot, or there's any way you can get something, in some way, used car or whatever, get it. If you can drive a motorcycle and you just need a grocery getter for a car, well, keep whatever car you got. You say, well, this thing's, whatever. How far do you live from a grocery store? If you live only 3 miles from a grocery store, will that car make it 6 miles to get your groceries? And if it will, I'd say if you can drive a motorcycle, I'd say get a motorcycle, because you can get a decent motorcycle, something to take you back and forth to work and stuff like that, for $4,000. And that's brand new. That's a brand new motorcycle. You can go down here and get like a Honda Navi for like $3,000. You can get, I think, the Honda Trail for about $3,000. You can get the Honda Renegade 350, I think about $4,000, and then some of them cost about $4,500. So if you got, let's say, $5,000 to spend on a vehicle, and that's all you've got, and you go around, you can't find a decent vehicle, nowhere you go, it's like, this has got this problem, this has got this problem, this has got this problem, and all you're doing is buying somebody else's problem. And then you're only seeing one problem on the surface. You don't know what other kind of problems that thing's having. All right, because there's other problems going on in that thing that you might not know about. So you might think it's just a water pump. Well, you don't know it's just a water pump. It could be a head gasket. And if you get it buying the, $600 car that just needs a water pump, well, that $600 car might need a $2,000 head gasket, and then you get into a big problem. So look at it, think about that, and just kind of get into where you kind of think about that stuff. And if you don't need to buy a car, don't buy one. Don't get one. if you can ride it out and you can drive that old clunker you got for as long as you can ride it and push it as far as you can push it, I mean, keep that old clunker and do it. If you got motorcycle endorsements or whatever, I mean, right now is kind of a cool time to be riding motorcycles. But if you can basically, if instead of buying a brand new car, like buying a motorcycle. They're still decently priced. Their prices aren't too bad. And for $3,000, you can get, let's say, a Honda Trail. You can get, like I said, you can even go to Yamaha place. They got decent bikes there, $4,000. Buy one slightly used, only 15,000 miles on it. $3,500, $4,000. Because they're more of a luxury thing and more of they're not really considered to be a serious automobile. Now banks do give loans on those things too. So let's say you've only got $2,000 and you just need to finance the rest. A bank will loan you the rest of the money on a $4,000, $5,000 bike. It means go get that. That's better than whatever. I done said it before and I'll say it again. If the car market gets to the point where it just prices me out to the point where I'm not actually able to drive a car anymore, I get a motorcycle and I'll just drive a motorcycle everywhere I go. I mean, like me and my stepdad was talking about, he said, F that, just get a scooter. Why not? I'll get a 150, 250 scooter. I'll hit on down the road and that thing. I put license tag and insurance on that thing. I mean, I will. And I have my driver's license. I'll be out there on the dang main road getting it on that thing. I don't care. Hey, if you don't need it, don't get it. And if they're going to overprice us out, let them rot. Let them sit on the car lots, be all beautiful, shiny and clean, and rot. Let them just rot. Forget about it. Just let it go. Anyway, guys, be good, get at it, and take it easy.
Okay, so I decided to hop out here on the Toyota lot and just check out and see what they have. As you know, I'm always driving the Honda. Why would I give up a perfect car? It's only got 135,000 miles on it. It's a Honda. I mean, really, it makes no sense. It's a good car. But I was out here kind of peeking around at some things, and I think this is about the cheapest truck I found on the lot. $40,000. $40,866. $40,866. This is a crew cab. This is a crew cab Tacoma, and it's just a two-wheel drive SR. It's just standard two-wheel drive, which is a basic truck. But given between that and the Colorado, I'd rather take that, even though it's not four-wheel drive. I'd rather take that. Now we can step it on up. I notice we get over here, and this one is four-wheel drive, double cab, $44,000. And that certainly beats Chevrolet's Colorado and stuff like that for that money. I just want to double check. I think it doesn't really specify it's four-wheel drive on this one. Yeah, this is actually four-wheel drive. That's four-wheel drive. That's four-wheel drive. It's $40,000. So given the choice between that and let's say a Colorado or something like that, Chevy Colorado, I'd rather have that. I don't know about you, but it's still Toyota, and it's still going to have warranty and everything. It's going to have great things about it. But like this guy here, he's 40. It's kind of messed up, but I can tell it's 48,000. Here's the original price after all the markup crap, 48,000. It's a bit ridiculous. Them other guys are just sort of basic trucks. These are a little more fancy. 47,000 for this guy. But I noticed they got some cars on the lot again. Before, when I was out here, I couldn't find no cars on the lot. This is where it gets kind of ridiculous. $36,000 for $36,937 for a Toyota Camry. Now I know Camry's always been a more expensive car. I happened to find one car up here that was a little more basic, and it ended up being, I think this is the guy, I believe, right here. Yep, this is him. $32,783. This is a Toyota Camry. Yeah, it's getting a little colder out here, guys. The wind's starting to kind of pick up a little. But they got these things in here so tight they can't even do nothing with them, man. It's bad. It's bad out here today. It's kind of wind chill is just real bad. There's always kind of a little bit more thing when you're sitting in a nice air conditioned house and everything compared to coming out here and this stuff. Well, nice heated house. Sorry. And here we go. Here's 26,000. 26. This is a Toyota Corolla. And finally, they're starting to get some of these things in. Toyota Corolla, $26,270 for that little red Toyota Corolla. I mean, I gotta admit, the build quality on Toyota is definitely a little bit better than Toyota, and better than the Hyundai I showed you the other day. This one jumped back up to 35. I don't know what that is. That looks like. I'm going by the front of the car. That's just one little oddball there. All right, this looks like it's a Corolla. Check it out. It's silver. It's pretty too. Boy, this is a pretty car. Little Toyota Corolla. $24,450. Oh yeah, see, that's cheaper than Honda anyway, and it's a Toyota. Comes with their 5 years, 60,000 mile warranty, I believe. I'm trying to find it, but yeah. So nowadays you can actually get a Toyota pretty good. I mean, think about trucks wise compared to, I've already showed you how much the Chevrolet trucks are. And then when we come over here though, let's see, this is a $64,800. It's Toyota Tundra 4-wheel drive. I don't think they even make anything that's not 4-wheel drive with all the buttons and everything else anymore, fully automatic and all that. Whatever happened to just the plain old good old basic 5-speed Toyota Corolla with the manual windows? Those were the days, man. You could buy one of those and run those things till tires fell off the thing. Heck, the wheels fall off before you ever run them, before you ever run the engine out. Them things are good old vehicles, but these new ones, I don't know why they gotta do all this crap. 64,563. That's ridiculous. $65,000 basically for these trucks. Then I found little SUVs someplace. I think they're back over here. Man, they got so much stuff in here. Man, somebody wrote dirty on this thing. This is ridiculous. I mean, come on, man. Don't come out here and do this stuff to people's cars. I mean, I don't know when they're finally going to be able to finally get somebody to, wash and clean these things. On top of that, and I don't know how much it actually costs them to actually wash them when they do wash them. I mean, but still, it's disrespectful. I mean, these are brand new cars, and they just sit out here getting dirty with dust on them and everything. We've had some rain recently too, which has been kind of crazy. Oh, this is a little nicer package. Let's check this boy out and see what he goes for, just by chance. It's over there in the other window. Oh, $59,000. This is the TRD Tacoma. $59,000. You're right. Who can afford to buy this crap, guys? I mean, really, who's going to afford to buy this? Who's going to have that much money to afford to buy these things? You'd have to have a lot of cash. Oh boy, there ain't nobody out here. It's too cold. You gotta be. I still have to look. Keep a lookout though, because I've been out around these places, found a lot of homeless people out around here. This got some kind of other thing to it. There's a bunch of used take-ins. Okay, let's see. All right, on that, better check this guy out real fast. $45,000, and they got more cars than they even know what to do with. My God! And one of the things is the price is too much for the average consumer. And another thing is that the prices are so dang expensive. The price is so expensive, and the way that things are, the banks just don't want to take chances on them anymore. I found my little SUVs. I was wanting to compare these to, let's say, that Mitsubishi Outlander that I showed you the other day. $37,000. That's a 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. RAV4. Hold on. months. Okay, seeing if it's a two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. RAV4 XLE trim package. It's not really saying whether it's all-wheel drive or not. They do make these things in two-wheel drives, and they're just a front-wheel drive car, front-wheel drive vehicle. Okay, so let me see here. $47,000 for this guy, and this is the Prime package. It's the all-wheel drive SUV. All right, I just found out how to check and see if that's all-wheel drive or not for $30,000. Okay, well, $37,000, and nope, it's front-wheel drive. It's front-wheel drive. I mean, come on, focus, baby, focus. There we go. You can kind of see it right there. Anyway, I'm not going to keep wasting time with that. Anyway, it's front-wheel drive, and it's $37,000. Remember that Mitsubishi I showed you the other day? And this has cloth seats. That Mitsubishi I was showing you has leather seats. So, and Mitsubishi is a really good vehicle. I mean, you just got to make sure you take good care of them, but they are really, really good vehicles. I know a couple people that's had over 300,000 miles on Mitsubishis, especially the Optimas, like the Kia Optima had a Mitsubishi, I think it was a Mirage motor in it, and it was really good. This is a Cross HV thing. It's $36,000. This is an all-wheel drive too. Yeah, this is an all-wheel drive package. Oh, let's see. Here's a white Pearl. That's pretty. Let's see what we got here. Is this Toyota Corolla? Yeah, another RAV4 hybrid. Oh, $40,000 for a hybrid. I don't know about you, but I don't want hybrid. So I'm gonna skip over that. Okay. Just trying to take a quick peek at all these guys. SUV front wheel drive. This is, I don't know if you can be able to see it, but $46,046 for that. It's front wheel drive. It's front wheel drive. So that's what you get for $36,000 on Toyota lot. Basically that. I mean, and on top of that, I'm not sure if you can see in here, these have the claw seats and everything else. It's not as nice as the Mitsubishi is either, and it doesn't come with that 10-year 100,000 mile warranty like the Mitsubishi does. I think these only come with 5 years 60,000 mile warranty. But you are essentially buying Toyota, and Toyota has had their issues lately, different kind of manufacturer recalls and stuff like that. So, and they have in the past built vehicles that wasn't so good, like the Eco, and they come up with some vehicles that weren't so good in the past. Not all of them have always been good. The Matrix wasn't good. But even Honda's done that too. You know, everybody comes out with a bad one every once in a while. I mean, look at the Chevy Cobalt. It just was a total bomb. The Ford Fiesta was a total bomb. It was just a piece of junk. That's when they kept producing piece of junk after piece of junk, like their Focuses and stuff like that. So finally, they just abandoned the small car altogether. But their Tauruses were really good. And back in the days, they used to make them old Crown Vics. You couldn't blow them things up. The LTDs and all of them were really good. But then nowadays, they just couldn't build them that good no more. So they found with big trucks and SUVs. And unfortunately, they priced themselves out and they priced everybody else out. But if you want a little $25,000, $30,000 car, hey, why not? Get a little Toyota. But if you want anything else, or let's say you want a small truck at $40,000, you knock yourself out and go right on ahead and do it with the $1,200 a month car payment. Me personally, I think I'd still keep driving a little Honda, and if I need a truck, I just go ahead and just go rent a U-Haul. But I mean, hey, I wouldn't even be able to get a price off this guy. I'm just kind of curious what they sell this guy for. It's sure it's pretty, not 2024, but it doesn't have a price tag on it. Pretty little bugger though. Anyway, guys, let me hop back in this Honda and I'm gonna get back in some warmth to get out of this wind. Yeah, it's kind of, the wind's what killed me today. Anyway, you be good at it.